Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Synsei Inc. And today I am back with another One Piece video. Now, today we're about to get into a collab with Joyboy Theories, where we talked about the ancient kingdom. We talked about Joy Boy, Sun God Nika, you name it, we talked about it, even the moon a little bit. But guys, make sure you check out his channel. It will be in the description. Also, my Discord link will be in the pinned comment. Make sure that you guys join the Discord to be a part of VC nights and other events that I throw for the channel. Also, if you've made it this far, I want to say that I appreciate you. And if you want to like the video, I'd appreciate that as well. The like goal for this video will be 500 likes. And if you want more One Piece content like this, make sure you subscribe and you turn on those post notifications. Let's get into the video. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Synsei Inc. And today I got a special guest here with me. Got Joyboy Theories in the building. What's going on, bro?
Yo, appreciate you having me.
Of course, always. So we talked about this a little bit before I hit the record button, but I wanted to have a conversation about, as you said, a big can of worms, and it is. But basically the overall lore of like Void Century stuff, pre-Void Century potential. So like ancient kingdom, Joy Boy, etc. Especially now recently that we've got this Sun God Nika stuff popping up. That's a whole nother like layer to everything. So there's just a lot going on right now in One Piece in general. And I just wanted to pick your brains, but I gotta come to Joy Boy Theories himself, right? When we talking about
right. Yeah, this is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, so I had to pick your brain, see where your mind is on everything.
I mean, yeah, there's pros and cons though, because like, you know, it's good if you have like a straight train of thought with what you're going with, and then once you get too deep into it, right, everybody's got all these thoughts, so then it gets, I don't know, man, it kind of becomes too much sometimes. But yeah, I'm down. This is the stuff that, man, when I first started my YouTube channel, man, this is what made me a theorist, probably more so than anything else, like thinking about this kind of stuff. So
yeah, for sure, man. I'm excited. So I guess I want to ask first, let's get this out the way, because I know everyone's going to want to know your thoughts, and I'm sure you've talked about it on your channel already, but what is your whole mindset when it comes to this Sun God Nika thing? Do you have any ideas on of the identity of this person? Do you think it's a new character we don't know? Is it a different name for a character we've already seen? Like, what are your thoughts?
I feel like there is a kind of consensus within the community. I mean, obviously there'll be some people that'll say something off the wall, you know, but I think most people agree, like either Nika is Joy Boy or is like related to Joy Boy in some way, you know, and that's kind of where everyone is starting off. That's like the jumping off point. Cause I mean, if you look like, right, you got a symbol of sun, you know, he frees slaves, he smiles all the time. That's Luffy, right? Period. Like that is Luffy. The similarity is uncanny. I mean, it could be Roger too, right? So, you know, so I'm just thinking about it from that standpoint, right? So the person in the past that was similar to Luffy, you know, so, and we're thinking that Luffy is Joy Boy, right? So there's your theory right there.
For
that
sure.
Nika is Joy Boy. But, you know, then once you get down the rabbit hole a little bit, it gets even more interesting. It's like, how many Joy Boys has there been, right? What is Joy Boy? We still don't even know, right? Was that a person that existed during the Void Century? Or, you know, like, is this a title that people sort of inherit or choose to inherit, you know? Or is it just like all these similar people that have inherited like the same sort of like will, you know, the same sort of demeanor or outlook, or, you know, something of that nature. I've seen like reincarnation, right? Like maybe Nika is, you know, Luffy's soul in a past life. That you know, that's really interesting. But, you know, something like that probably is where I'm leaning. Like, you know, it's kind of interesting. This is kind of derivative, but you know, I don't think Joy Boy has existed yet. I think Oda's really smart. He's really good at putting the foreshadowing down, right, in ways that, you know, you think that you know what's happening, but you don't really know. And so you got that poneglyph in Fishman Island that was basically a conversation between Joy Boy and the Mermaid Princess, and it was a letter of apology. Robin said, and it's so interesting, right? Because, you know, I like to think about ways that you can twist a reveal, right? So this information is given to us. It seems straightforward, but how do you twist this, right? So everyone sort of assumes that, okay, well, Joy Boy is this person that had this conversation that they decided to record on a poneglyph, right? In Fishman Island, they just left it there for 900 years. This is some sort of conversation that happened. But, you know, like, I think too much about things. It's just like, you know, it is what it is. You know, so why did they feel the need to record this conversation on a poneglyph? You ever think about that? Like, why was this letter of apology so important that they had to write it in stone forever and just leave it there? I mean, what purpose does that serve? So, this is kind of a rhetorical question. I'm going off, my monologue here, but so the theory is that this is a conversation that hasn't yet happened. Right. So the whole prophecy deal, we've been talking about prophecies and Toki and Odin. Kaido seems to know a lot about what Joy Boy will do. And we've seen that prophecies exist in One Piece, right? Madame Charlie has a crystal ball so she can see stuff. So maybe this, we assume, right, that this was a conversation that happened during the Void Century, but maybe this is a conversation that hasn't happened yet. And that the Joy Boy, who, I don't know if you've heard this, but like, Joy Boy is not a person necessarily, but like an idea. Like Madame Charlie, when she predicted that Luffy would destroy Fishman Island, when you actually see the panel, it's kind of like a smiling boy in a hat, And so they're like, oh, it looks just like Straw Hat Luffy, right? But like it's still silhouetted and kind of mysterious. So then Joy Boy could be like, rather than an actual person that existed, like an idea, like a silhouetted smiling man. But okay. Yeah, it's like a smiling man, right? You get that? Like, hopefully that makes sense. But so like maybe this was just part of those prophecy stuff, and then Luffy is actually going to have this conversation with Shirahoshi, right, or something interesting like that.
Oh, okay. So you think perhaps it could have been a situation where it's something that's yet to come,
right? That's yet to come, exactly. So then so it's like, well, because it's kind of like, how many Joy Boys are there, right? If there's just one, right, then it's probably Luffy, huh? Yeah, I mean, I think most people agree about that, right? Probably.
Yeah, I do at least.
Yeah, so then, this Nika can't be Joy Boy if Luffy's Joy Boy if there's only one. So, but you can go on forever, right? This is such a big rabbit hole, but
a picture that we get on the panel when Husu was talking to Jinbei about this Sun God Nika individual. Do you think that is just his perception of what who believes Sun God Nika would look like, or do you think that that's actually like a depiction of what, like,
accurate? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know, man. So sometimes, right? So been in the community a long time. Sometimes silhouettes are not accurate at all, like totally inaccurate to the point of absurdity, right? So I don't know if you remember when Kaido was first silhouetted. I mean, he looked funky, right? Looked nothing like Kaido. So, plus his hair is on fire, right? So that just seems like something that somebody would make up, right? Sun God, maybe he's got flaming hair,
Maybe it's just like an image of what the people that, created this legend, thought he looked like.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people, I've seen this, I forgot to bring it up in my video, but people have been saying that Nika in Japanese is most likely a female name rather than a male name. So, and I think that figure looks kind of gender ambiguous, but leaning towards more like early One Piece sort of male. So, yeah, I think it's possible Nika was a girl. So then that would probably justify the silhouette being wrong. But I mean, who knows?
I asked because people pointed out that the limbs of this person might be rubber. They say that they looked curved, not very realistic to what a person may look like. That's why I asked you what you thought about it. I don't know if because if that's the case, then like it's definitely, in my opinion, like tied directly to Luffy and Joy Boy. Like if it's rubber, you know what I mean? Like it has to.
I mean, but that would be just like Oda, right? To throw in something small like that. The silhouette could still be wrong, right? But there could still be some things in there that are actual clues, And then we had the devil fruit reveal in the last chapter in the Nika and this one. And I don't know, man, that just feels like the way Oda thinks. It's like,
exactly. That was other people's mindsets. They're like, okay, it looks rubber. This is like right after the Gomu stuff with Husu. And they're like, that's just kind of a too much of a coincidence, I guess.
I mean, it could be. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, I'm not going to strike this one down. It's kind of, but it's kind of also like we need a bit more for me to be all about it,
Yeah, for sure. No, I really like that. So I had this idea about the apology poneglyph, and I talked about this before because this whole thing with Sun God Nika is kind of a way for slaves, and from what it was told to us, kind of to pray to this person and hope to be saved by this individual. This was a person that would like free slaves. That's what the legend is. So I was thinking to myself, like, man, if this person is meant to free individuals, I was like thinking to myself, what could this apology had been for with Joy Boy? Because we know it's an apology, but we don't know what is the actually written, like what the apology is.
The substance. Yeah, I get you.
We don't know. So I was thinking, like, if it had something to do with the Noah, perhaps, or something like that, I was like, what if this, person, Joy Boy, was meant to free the fishmen? And by free, I mean bring them to the surface. And he wasn't able to do it. He failed. And like, what if like that would tie in basically with freeing slaves? Although the fishmen in Fishman Island are not slaves per se, I think that it could be symbolic of like freeing individuals, bringing them from this quote unquote prison underwater to see the sun, to go on, on land. So I was like, what if it was a situation where he was meant to free them and he just failed, and that's what the apology was for? That's what where my mindset was going with the whole apology thing, and kind of correlating it to Sun God Nika. I could be way off base, but I
mean, bro, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what I speculated 5 years ago. Like, this is one of the first theories I ever made 100%. That was my same line of thought before we even got Nika. So yeah, I'm on board.
Okay.
I'm right there. It's like there's, when you reread Fishman Island, there's some low-key details here that are worthy of note. Like, Oda was very, very subtle with this, but there's a panel. I can't quote it verbatim, but it exists, and I could pull it up if I needed to, which basically says that the fishermen used to live up on the surface. They were forced to live in the sea.
Okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Right. No, it's really subtle. I actually, here's a funny story about this. I speculated at first, like, oh, I think that this is probably true. And then later, like a year later, I was rereading Fishman Island. I was like, wait a second. The panel, it says it right here. It's like chapter for people out there, maybe like 641 or so, 639, somewhere around there. But yeah, no, it straight up says it, And so if the fishermen have been forced underwater, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because like, if you think about it, right, the Tontara were living on Greenbit, but they were living in hiding from the humans because they had an era of slavery. And so they were hiding and, basically where no one could find them. You think about the minks, another non-human or race or tribe or whatever, they're living on the back of a giant elephant that can't be tracked, right? It doesn't work like a normal island, so you can't just log pose to it. It's, I would say, relatively safe. It's kind of like the opposite of Fishman Island, really. Fishman Island retreated down the bottom of the ocean. The minks retreated up onto the giant elephant. And then Elbaf obviously is super isolated as well, because we learned in Mother Carmel's Big Mom's flashback with Mother Carmel that people, it's rare for humans to live on Elbaf. Basically, it's special. They don't tend to either allow that, or people don't want to do that. So, you have all these groups of people that are kind of separated from humans. And in the context of slavery, I've seen people say this as well. It's like, well, the humans were enslaved by the celestial dragons too. You have Rayleigh in the prison, right? But it's not the same, because they got that list, and on the list, mermaids and giants are worth more than humans. So the number one on our target is rare groups of people. So
for sure.
To bring this back to the point, though, it's like, well, if fishermen are forced down underwater, that's not where they wanted to live. Not historically anyway. They were forced from their home. They probably want to go back home. And so, then you have sort of, I think, a basis, right, for a potential, well, like a desire first, and then a promise from a hero or whatever. If the Joy Boy is like Luffy, right? He's not a hero, but he is a hero. But you know what I mean? So, it's
he's
like,
not in it.
Right.
He's not in it for the accolades. He's just doing it because he wants to.
Yeah, he's doing it because he wants to. Right. Exactly. But so it's like, yeah, we're going to bring you up into the surface, and for whatever reason, they failed. And so that's an interesting. I'm going off again. I'm sorry about this, but it's like, it's interesting as well, because I think about this, it's like, well, the ancient kingdom had the ancient weapons that were said to destroy the world. The world government fears them so much. So why couldn't they succeed? Why couldn't the fishermen just live up on the surface? What prevents that, right? I mean, technically, right? You got the Noah. The Noah was clearly built. You bring all the fishermen up to the surface, and you say to the world government, humans deal with it, right? Well, on one hand, it could be okay. Well, we can't actually defeat them, but I got my doubts about that. So I just wonder if the pirates back in the day during the Void Century that were trying. It was like more than just defeating your enemies, like defeating the 20 kingdoms, but it's more so like creating an environment on the surface that was less hostile towards the fishermen, like changing everyone's mentalities in an almost like permanent way, so that even if we succeed now, it remains true for the foreseeable future. Because I kind of see that as a great barrier for the fishermen, right? You need like more than just sort of like forcing a place for them to belong on the surface, is like like changing the entire climate. So, but yeah, so
No,
I guess that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with you on a lot of that. I could see it being a thing where it was like that for them trying to accomplish that for not only the fishmen, but you bringing up these other races, man. It could have been a situation where maybe this idea of Joy Boy, or if it was a person, this person, Joy Boy, could have been trying to create a world like that for everyone, right? Just in general, not just all different races, maybe not just the fishermen.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I think so. Like, why not? I mean, yeah, sure, the fishermen sort of represent the problem, but, that's a problem for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And I was talking to who the heck was it? I can't remember right now. It's slipping me, but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Someone gonna judge you.
Someone. I was talking to someone about One Piece, and we were talking about Luffy, and we were talking about Roger and them sharing a dream, and they were telling me that there was like some thought that people had that because of the way that Ace responded and Sabo responded to Luffy, and they kind of, were like laughing as if maybe it was childish or something of that nature, that maybe Luffy was basically telling them that, and this is I don't think he said it was his theory, but he was just saying people have had this theory, that he was telling them that he wants to throw a big party with everybody in the world. And,
I mean, it could be.
And when he told me that, he was saying it because it was correlating to something I was thinking. Because I was thinking, like, what if it was a situation where Roger and Luffy wanted to like make a world in which everyone could kind of live this way of life that they are living by, whereas in Luffy lives this life of freedom, right? He does what he wants to do what he wants to do because he wants to do it, and he's living his life with that idea of freedom. And I was like, what if that is like the over-encompassing idea? Like, hey, I want to create a world where everyone has true freedom, but it's just the way that he put it was just a Luffy-esque, like, oh, instead of just saying, oh, I want to free everybody, let's throw a big party and have everybody, party together type of thing. Yes. It kind of,
yeah, like something innocent, that other people would be like, no way, but Luffy doesn't know,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, of course.
Because Luffy probably isn't thinking with a political mindset of, oh, I want to make freedom for everybody. He just wants everyone to be able to enjoy life and just have a party and just, have fun together. But in a way, it's like indirectly, like if you would have everyone in the world have a party together, you're bringing everyone together. Because right. I mean, if you think about real life, it's like, that's some of the best ways for people to like get over transgressions with each other, is have them come together, eat, have fun, have a party together. It's like a kind of way of bringing people together.
Yeah. Well, to even add further onto that, right? Like Luffy, what you're talking about is like the scene when Luffy was a kid, right? With Sabo and Ace.
Yeah.
And then Oda off screens whatever Luffy said, and then it sort of pans to Ace and Sabo, and they're like, but to add on to that, at that point in time, did Luffy even know about fishmen? Did he know about giants? Did he know about dwarves? No. So, he's not thinking with those people in mind when he's saying it, so it's something that has to be like generally true, or something like generally outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that makes perfect sense, because if imagine if he just says it like that, I want to have a party with everyone in the world, you know? It's like he
Party with
doesn't,
the world, yeah, you know,
yeah,
like what?
he doesn't know, he has no idea
Yeah.
about any of these other races or who these other people are.
No.
He doesn't care. That's it, and that's the beauty in it. It's like,
No, he just wants to have fun.
exactly. And it's like, man, that could go like hand in hand with the themes of, you know, this freeing people, right? So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just thought it was interesting to think about. Did you have any thoughts on what like maybe Luffy or Roger's dream could have been?
You know, Luffy's all about freedom, and not only for himself, right? A lot of times he acts based on other people's freedom, you know, people that particularly that he cares about, but even people that he doesn't care about. I think Luffy has like a natural sense for injustice, you know, like when he visits Sabaody and he sees how the celestial dragons treat the slaves there. He doesn't know them personally, but yet something about that feels off. I think Luffy just, you know, he does this kind of from island to island, right? Where, you know, he makes a lot of friends because he makes other people's problems his own. Because he kind of has a sense for when someone's being taken advantage of or abused, or, you know, so, you know, but it's kind of a complicated conversation as well, because true freedom, if Luffy wanted true freedom for everybody, right, then that freedom would extend to people like Blackbeard or bad guys in general, like Crocodile.
Yeah,
You know, you're free
sure.
to enslave people or whatever. So there's rules to that. But you know, it's something like maybe more simply, it's like Luffy wants everyone to be happy, you know, or good people
Yeah.
to be happy at least.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, I could see that being a thing too, because it's like maybe if a lot of these bad people were happy, or you know, could find happiness in other things that are more positive, perhaps they wouldn't be as, you know, bad as they are. You know, and that
Right.
might not be the case with everyone, because there's just some people that are completely fucking psychopaths, you know. But
Right. Yeah.
you know, for the
Well,
people, go ahead.
Sorry. I just want to interject. I think Morge said one time, and this really, I believe it was Morge. If not, you know, I'm going to give credit to Morge anyway. But he said something along the lines of, you know, what Luffy does in each arc is he changes, or maybe Oda actually said this. He changes people's philosophies, whether, you know, by punching them in the face or otherwise, you know. And so that's kind of, you know, whether this is realistic or not, you know, that seems to be one of the core things about One Piece, is that Luffy, through his actions, he changes. You know, even Crocodile, when he's in Marineford, seems a little bit different from the Crocodile in Alabasta. You know, that's how you make allies or enemies into allies, right? And so, you know, there's something to that, right? Of showing everybody a sort of better way.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.